Hi, I'm Rob the art teacher. I've just released a short video on my Thankfulness Portraits project. It's pretty tight, it's a 60-second summary of the lesson. But I thought I'd flesh out some of the ideas and the reasons about why it's so successful for art teachers or artists or art students who want to understand why is it structured this way and what are the benefits of the Thankfulness project itself for young artists and art students. Before I continue with that, if you're new to this channel or if you enjoy this video, please be sure to like it and share it and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos I make with art lessons and art tips and art projects. The Thankfulness Portrait Project is a project I've used with young students for a number of years. It has some very valuable benefits, especially in the psychological and emotional and well-being areas. One of the first reasons is in relation to the chemical changes in our body when we start doing a novel creative project. Especially in younger people, research has shown that dopamine levels spike. The feel-good chemical in our body spikes when we begin a novel creative project. Another reason that this Thankfulness Portraits project is beneficial is because it helps us concretize or make visible our own feelings. So thankfulness is the feeling of being thankful towards someone else. And being able to make our feelings concrete and visible without the need to use words benefits our sense of well-being. And a third reason that is related to the social, emotional and psychological benefits of this project are that because the project is focused on our feeling thankful for someone else, pets included, it takes us out of ourselves and it helps us reconnect ourselves with our social environment, our social world. Now these benefits are particularly useful for young art students who might be suffering a little anxiety or sadness or non-clinical symptoms of depression. But there's another reason that the structure of this particular lesson, which I showcased in my shorts and my reels here, there's another reason that the structure of this lesson is particularly beneficial. Now I have to go back a little bit because why did I structure it this way? In fact, the structure that I came up with was a novel experience for me as a teacher as well. So I was particularly thrilled to try it and to see what would happen. So I teach a 5th grade class of 11-year-olds for a double lesson every week on a Friday. That's 90 minutes every week on a Friday. And this past Friday, I was also scheduled to teach a substitution class, a double substitution class with this same group at the end of the day on the Friday. So I had their regular art session in the morning and then I had scheduled this double lesson in the afternoon. So what I did is split it into two aspects, two stages. The first stage is focused on painting and focused on expressionist use of color and focused on creating the background or the scene for the portrait. We used A3 sized painting paper and we talked about what the power of color in expressing feelings. Among the things that we talked about at the beginning of the lesson were who did we feel particularly thankful for today? What did we know about them? This is a person or a creature, a pet for instance, who we know. So what do we know about them? What are their colors? What are the colors you feel best express your emotions? The second session in the afternoon was focused on making the portrait. And here we're drawing, using an A4 sized piece of drawing paper and using color pencils or color markers. The students set about drawing the portrait of the person or the pet they were thankful for. Now by splitting out the expressionist painting from the drawing on two separate pieces of paper, this allowed the children to experiment and to develop the best portrait drawing they could of this individual. And some students valued the opportunity to have more than one attempt and then choose the best attempt. So it took the pressure off. By making mistakes with the initial portrait drawing, they weren't damaging their painting. So they completed the drawing on paper and then cut it out and then pasted it into their painting. Now, some students discovered compositional treasures in this process. So a student who had drawn the portrait touching the corner of the A4 paper realized they could then place that portrait in the corner of the painting, and it created a beautiful spatial arrangement. One student wanted to have the small head and shoulder study they had done sitting like a bubble in the middle of the atmospheric space they had created with their painting. Another cut out the portrait of their dog and set it at the bottom of this beautiful big painted expressionist space. But I think separating out the two aspects of this gave the students a lot more creative freedom. It enabled them to take risks, and it enabled them to combine different elements, expressive elements, and also learn some lessons about creativity, about thankfulness, and about picture making. Thanks for watching.